Okay, let's go ahead and start the meeting. We'll have called to order. And roll call. Yeah.
Ms. Cooper Payton. Ms. Harrell.
Here.
Ms. Hetland.
Here.
Mr. Jacobson.
Here.
Ms. Jones.
Here.
Ms. Orchardson.
Here.
Mr. Patterson.
Here.
Ms. Salmon.
Here?
Ms. Snyder.
Here.
Okay. Next will be approval of minutes of the previous meeting. Did anybody have any questions or comments on those? Okay, I move that we approve minutes. All in favor? Oh, I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Let's go ahead with the grant presentation from Kelly White. You're up, Kelly. We don't fool around.
The movers and the shakers, you know?
Okay, I'm going to go, thank you very much for allowing me to do 2 different years. So what I went ahead and did is I did a larger presentation for FY16, and then in FY17, not to just kind of repeat everything, I just more included what was a little bit different and new, and then I have a little tiny short wrap-up video that I thought I could play too. So, okay, so thanks for having me today. This is Boneyard 2016, so last year. So what I usually start with, this is kind of stretched, but that's okay, is a lot of the marketing that goes into Boneyard. Obviously, we picked a signature artist. This year happened to be Charlie Wisseman. That's his image. It's very fascinating. He was actually a doctor, a pathologist, before he became an artist. And those are all kind of slices of wood and bone and all kind of very interesting things. It went over very well with the public. So we featured the signature artist on all the different marketing deliverables. So that would include posters, postcards, web banners, and then the Boneyard Quick Guide, which I think we started the year before. So this would have been our second year doing the Quick Guide. And then the one thing I wanted to add here, which is a very drastic change for this year, was we created a designated website for Boneyard. So versus having it be just static lists on 40north.org, we actually created boneyardartsfestival.org. And we continued to change it for this year's, but it was supposed to be this very interactive website with all the listings and a whole page dedicated to all the artists. You could click on the artists, and then it shows you all the venues they were at. You click on the venue, and it shows you all the different events in the venues. You could kind of create a schedule for yourself, and so it was a way to kind of have people interact and not only be using the paper guide, even though we'll continue to produce both. But I think it was an improvement as far as online kind of generating the information from people who wanted to interact with it. We actually used a template similar to a 4-day conference because we thought it was pretty complicated with Boneyard because it's multiple days, multiple people, multiple spaces. So it ended up like a conference website was the one that could handle it the best. So we'll continue to improve it each year, but it went over very well. And then in addition, we collaborate with the UBA and put that giant banner up, which is always great. Goes up a few weeks early and really gets the word out that it's coming. And then on the Boneyard Quick Guides, we install them in several different places. We used to put them on little kiosks, but Wind does not love the kiosks, and so we destroyed a kiosk, and so we couldn't use the kiosk again. So now what we did is on the parking garage and on the C4A, which allowed us to put up there where we kind of create our own kiosk right on that spot. So we have a big map that shows you all the locations, and then also quick guides that people can grab throughout the weekend. And then the other marketing aspect that we always do is we work with Chambana Moms, and we sponsor different posts and different aspects that they share on social media, and they create, with our help, basically a kid-friendly guide to the Boneyard. So we basically pull all the different venues and activities that are kid-friendly, and then they create the Chambana Moms Guide to the Boneyard Weekend, which has worked very well. We also, so it's a lot of collaborations, as you all know. So we, every year we collaborate with the Urbana Park District. This will look familiar to Erica. And this was, oh, hold on a second. This was the Urbana Park District's Imagination Station that they had at Lincoln Square. which went over huge, goes over huge every year. Kind of make it, take it crafts, where everyone coming through Lincoln Square can stop and make something and take it with them, and had mass crowds all day in the mall. That was on Saturday. And then also on Saturday, this has become very, very popular. It's grown every single year. Unfortunately, in 2016, as you can tell by what everyone's wearing, it was a little bit chilly, but it was beautiful sunny, but everybody kind of had coats. But it still went very, very well. Worked very closely with Pauline, looking forward to working with Rachel this following year. But it's become just a huge celebration right there in the Boneyard Crossing. So obviously performances, we always get the Bubble Guy because everybody loves the Bubble Guy. The Capoeira group performed, two guys there from Bones Jugs, also featuring the banners that the students create up on the light posts. Yeah, it's I think was last year, the year before this might have been the first year or the second year, but it's really grown in popularity. Food trucks, you know, all different activities where people come down. And so this year, when we were working, this 2016, when we were working on this, the one thing we've always tried to do is find a way for people to go from downtown down to this area. And this year, what we collaborated with was with Urbana Middle School, created, their 8th graders created these amazing sculptures, which were in the style of artist Mark Jenkins, and they contacted me and wanted to be a part of the Boneyard, and we thought this was great. So we installed them Saturday morning with permission of Public Works and such, all the way basically from Main Street, leading you down to the Boneyard area. And it was great to see people interact with these all day. People sitting down with the guy reading, a lot of people taking pictures with him. The one at the bottom there is a proposal happening. They had they were really wonderful. I wish we could have them every year because I think it really created, you know, a lot of fascination and a lot of photo ops for sure.
Just a few thousand selfies.
And then we also, what?
A few thousand selfies.
Yes, exactly. Then a couple of years now, and we've continued, it's been wonderful. We collaborate with Unit 116, and they do their flash mob. They usually do it in the mall first, and then they come out into front of the courtyard. We have a DJ set up, and they have their whole routine worked out. It's just a really wonderful event. All the parents are there, and it's also kind of nice because they all come down for this, and then you hope that they'll stick around and enjoy a lot of the other Boneyard events. But this has been, we've lucked out with weather every time we've had this, and it's been really fantastic to work with them. And then we had a couple of extra things that we tried this year. It was a little chilly for some of them, but we worked with Neutral Cycle, and they were very generous to offer free bike rentals because we thought that might be a little bit more of an incentive maybe to get to some of the venues that aren't right there in the downtown area. So they had a few bikes set up where you could come and use them for free to explore the Boneyard. And then we also had there up on the top, we created I think we called it Mystery Chalk Story Walk or something, where kids could come and get chalk, and then they were given a little thing to solve and take them to different venues and draw outside in front of the sidewalk. So I think we'll continue to do stuff like that because for the weather that we had, it still went over very well, and I think if it would have been warmer, it would have been even more popular. So. And then another collaboration that's been really great, and they have decided to basically put it into their annual plans every year for Boneyard, is the Park District out at the Meadowbrook Interpretive Center. They ask one of the artists that does one of the sculptures in Meadowbrook, this happened to be Kristen Martins, to bring in maybe some of their pieces or even some of their maquettes of the larger pieces that are in the park. And then they get the Splash kids, the kids that are part of the Splash after school group, and the kids draw images inspired by certain pieces by the sculptor. And then in the Interpretive Center, they display some of the work by the sculptor, and then the kids all have their work displayed in there. And Kristen was there, and she met some of the students that had created some of the paintings, and seeing a lot of her maquettes and designs was really great. And we've done that 3 years now, so it's been great, and they're going to, like I said, they're adding it permanently to the Boneyard schedule every year, which is great. And then just to add a few things, there's also lots of demos that occurred. These are demos that happen throughout the day at CU Potters, which are very, very popular. Who doesn't love to watch people work on a wheel. I could watch it all day. And then outside of International Galleries, they had demos of people doing lino cut, which I thought was great. And I posted the below picture the other way so people would read Boneyard, and so many people kept telling me, if you print that, it's going to print backwards. I'm like, I know, I flipped it so you could read Boneyard. But so this way, I left it this way so there's no confusion. And then even at C4A, very talented origami artist doing demos as there as well that are always very popular with the kids. And then last, just wanted to add, we also work very closely with Cranert Center for Performing Arts and Spurlock. They had a couple of special events on that Boneyard weekend, including their Uncorked performances on Thursday, which we kind of use as a kickoff for the festival. And then also Spurlock had a very special performance that was packed and standing room only by the end was the Kenny Endo ensemble, had that great drum performance as well. So just a lot of different collaborations and organizations all working together to kind of celebrate the whole weekend. So that's 2016. Are there any questions about that year?
Can
Barb's
I
got
make a
one.
comment? Some of you, do you all know who the saxophone player was on that last image? Because he's also the player on the murals on glass above the parking garage.
Oh, that's
Right.
right. That's his
Yeah.
image on
Yeah,
there. That's
that's
true. That's cool. Should I go on to the next one?
Yeah.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. This one's much shorter because so 2017, similar as you can see, whoops. So you can see there on the right, that's Judith Johnson's piece that was chosen for the signature image. As I said, we choose that every single year, and it's featured on everything. So I skipped over all the parts because basically all the very similar marketing was done, almost exactly the same, worked on the website, obviously all the promotional materials, the billboards, the quick guides, postcards, web banners everywhere, as much promotion as we can possibly do. And then I just wanted to show a few things that were added or different. Well, I wanted to show this because this has been such a great collaboration with the Urbana Public Arts Program and Boneyard. Bubbles, yes. And then we also had the marionettes. You see that little cute, she had several, but that little puppy was very, very popular. With Ann Newman, that went over very, very well. She gave them little toys too to take home, and the kids absolutely loved it. And then we had a new program, which was Who Are You?, which was a very cool interactive community theater there on the bottom right. And then other kids' activities, the other popular, a little messy, but it was a lot of fun, was I can't think what the word was, it's actually called, but the fish rubbing, where they kind of, I think they were actually molded rubber fish, but then you made kind of a rubbing, and then the kids painted, and it was packed the whole day. Every time I was there, had a line of kids doing that craft. And then included also several different performances that happened there as well. It was a beautiful day, and so I hope we can just continue to build on this, because I know there's more things opening in that area, and I think we can just continue to grow this every year for Boneyard. I think it's fabulous. And then my incredible Boneyard Urbana Committee stepped it up incredibly, and I think went over very well. They handmade all of this. Bones everywhere, and they chalked all the sidewalks. If you're kind of linking Lincoln Square to downtown to other venues, there are little bones like that took you all the way through, so you could kind of walk along. And then they made all these other decorations and kind of hung it where and made it very celebratory along the route down Main Street and all the way down to the Boneyard. So I think we'll continue to do that, because I think it really added to the vibrancy of the event, and so people knew that there was a special festival really happening. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that worked out very well is that it happened to be a First Friday. And so working with the Imbibe Urbana folks was great. The packed market that they had, and then also I think that was the first time that Main Street had been closed and used for the performances. But it really, we've always wanted Boneyard and Urbana to have more of a nightlife, and this was probably the first time that really happened, which was fantastic. And so once again, I think we can build off that as well. So now I want to show you just a quick little compilation video of last year. That's it.
Yeah, very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, applause.
I was going to ask, what particularly does our contribution do as far as the festival? Does it primarily focus on things that are going on in Urbana?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
It's all the marketing on the Urbana side, and then
Yeah.
any performances that I book and equipment, and yeah, anything that's focused on the Urbana
Okay,
part. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Eric.
Is there enough video to make a longer piece?
There is. You'd like a longer video?
I think that would be lovely.
Okay.
I have no skill set in making that, but I'd watch it, absolutely.
Okay, that's good though, because usually for social media we stick to pretty short ones because we know we've only got some people's attention span for so long. But we
Right.
definitely have a lot more footage.
You
We
know,
always keep it a little bit short just because we want
I think
to make sure people keep watching.
so. I think it would be fun if there were a young, or somebody who is learning to make documentary films to actually do something like an hour. I think there's material
Oh yeah.
to sustain that, absolutely. And it might be really a good exercise for, a person who does that, and might really be a lovely thing to have.
Yeah, like a documentary on Boneyard. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can run it on UPTV.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, could run it on UPTV, yeah, could, I don't know, post it, post it for streaming on the Public Arts Commission
Website,
website.
web page, yeah,
Uh,
the city page too.
yeah, city page. I think it would be great to capture that in a documentary length.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
Even those last images, they started speeding up and going faster and faster. For my old eyes, I thought they were a little fast, but I understood you were working with that time frame. But
Right.
it's like I wanted to see a few more of those. They looked really interesting.
Yeah, I'll have people will repost it and say, okay, pause it at minute 62 or
Yeah.
that's 62, that's me, that's mine.
Yeah.
And I post all the images on a slideshow as well, so people can go through them slowly.
Yeah.
But we just like to add them on because, the video we really use for a lot of activities that are happening.
Sure.
But then there's so many stills that I take of a lot of the beautiful visual art that, we like to put those in the end so they're represented. It's not just all the performances and the activities. We want to represent the visual artists as well. So we
Yeah,
kind
I've
of put
seen
those on the end. And there's so much of it that, we kind of cram it on quickly there at the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen you do it. You don't sit still during these
No.
festivals. I've watched you walk
Try to
around
get
with
to
your
as many
camera.
as possible.
Yeah. You're the queen of multitasking when it comes to festivals.
Anybody else have comments or questions?
I had a comment and a question. It seems like every year you guys are adding more and more collaborations, and it's just great to see, I mean, the different engagements with the different groups and such. And so I'm just wondering, like, how are you able to accomplish that? Are you more volunteers, or I'm just curious?
I think, I mean, the committees are great because we have a committee for each district. You know, there's a campus, an out and about, Urbana, and Champaign. And really, the best part about Boneyard is the collaborations, for sure. And I think it's what happens is if someone has an idea where they want to do something special and they want to pick a weekend to do it, why not join this? Because then you're going to be able to take on all of that marketing and all that excitement and all the attention, you know, so people will come and see it versus trying to create your own at a separate time. And so it's a combination of us seeking out people that we think would work, and then a lot of it is people come and say we want to be a part of Boneyard, and then the committees work with them to make it happen. But yeah, to me that's the most special, is when we kind of meet in the middle, and that's when the most amazing stuff happens, I think. Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you all. I mean, this, I say this every year, but I think these grants are tremendous, obviously not only to help with Boneyard, but even when stuff in Boneyard is possible because of a grant. I mean, there's so many things that happen in this arts community that would never happen without these grants. So I love them, and I thank you all very much for them. So
Great. Thank
okay,
you.
thank you.
Thanks,
All
Kelly.
right. Okay, next we're going to have the monthly progress report.
Hello.
Hi.
So this is your report for September. Our staff update is that Lillian Meng, who's actually here with us this evening, will continue on through the end of September. She's been doing a wonderful job with administration, marketing, and event planning. Morgan White's also staying on until the end of September, and he's provided some really valuable transition for me as the new public arts coordinator, and continues to work on a number of the projects that he was able to also carry forward in the absence of a coordinator. So a special thank you to Morgan. I want to let you all know that we released a number of calls for entries over the past month. The first I'll speak to is the Arts in the Schools program, which of course is our grant that supports arts education in Urbana area schools. $3,000 is available to support art projects, and applications are due October 6th. This and all the other ones that I'll mention are available on our website. So on the Public Arts website, there's a specific page about arts grants, and Arts in the Schools right now appears first before the Urbana Arts grants. So all of that information is online for folks interested in applying. Secondly, we have Murals on Glass, and of course, again, this is the initiative made possible through partnership with the Urbana Business Association to invite artists residing in Champaign County as an initiative to feature local artworks on downtown and Urbana area windows. This year, we're excited to report that the two spaces that they're going to be located at is our very own City of Urbana building and the Phillips Recreation Center. So we're accepting applications until Friday, September 29th. That's the first one that's due of these 3 calls that I'm mentioning. So please share that with folks you think might be interested in submitting work. It's an online application, so pretty straightforward this year. And then lastly, we also are accepting applications for exhibiting and participation as a vendor at the Urbana Art Expo, which we've set a date for of Sunday, November 19th from 10 to 5 at our Urbana Civic Center. More information about that is available under Art Expo on our website. And we're also seeking volunteers to assist with the Art Expo on the 18th and the 19th, the 18th involving some setup and the 19th during the event. So folks who are interested, including our commissioners, you're welcome to get involved in that way. We're really excited to announce that our current Art Now features local artist Suzanne Keith Lakel. Episodes air on UPTV 6 every Monday at 6:30 and reruns on Tuesday. I also did a tally recently, and we have filmed 82 episodes of Art Now, and that's just absolutely amazing. So we're excited. I'm working with Sarah to film a whole lot more in the next month. So we have a few more coming, and obviously we'll be releasing them over the next few months. We also are continuing our Art at the Market. Our August 12th Art at the Market featured Paper Circuits Craft with Makerspace and 2 musical performances. The first was from local roots Americana group Bone Jugs and Harmony that many of you all know, followed by a performance by Macville, a bluegrass band out of Atwood, Illinois. And then our September Art at the Market featured a dance craft led by the Urbana Fine Arts Academy. And workshops, as we all know, occur from 8 to 12 p.m., but the performances tend to be from 9:30 to 11:30 and take place every second Saturday during the season. Our last Art at the Market will take place on the 14th and will feature a performance from the Capoeira Angola Center and a pop-up print shop with a wonderful student organization called the UIUC Noble Print Club. And so that whole schedule also is available on our website. We are also exploring doing an Art in the Market as a collaboration with the Urbana Business Association for when the market goes indoors. So that may be something that we're able to do with minimal expectations around funding and contribution. So hopefully we'll be able to make something like that happen. So this past Saturday was also extra special because we had a visit from Midwest Living as a part of our designation as the 2017 Greatest Midwest Town for Food. And one of the things that they did was visit the market at the square. For us, it was especially exciting because we were able to highlight some local art while we were there. So apart from having the Urbana Fine Arts Academy offering a craft, we were able to organize the Jazz Collective doing a performance as sort of a surprise, and then a swing dance flash mob, which was also a surprise, and that came from the Illini Swing Society, which is another student organization on campus. But a special thank you to both the Jazz Collective and the Illini Swing Society for making that happen. That was really wonderful. Currently on display still is our art, Nature Through a Lens from Fred DeCloman, and this will be on display through the end of September. Our next display will feature textile work from Laura Orr and Jill Miller as a joint exhibition, and will be on display from October through December. I also wanted to just make mention that we are readying ourselves to submit our final report for our National Endowment of the Arts Our Town grant, and we're really excited to also be in conversation with the IMC about carrying this work forward. How do we continue to kind of build upon the great work of Open Scene? And one of the things that we did recently produce, which I'm going to share with you now, is a video kind of highlighting the work of Open Scene. So I'm going to share that with you.
Art has a great way of opening people up and getting them to just kind of relax and enjoy each other and have fun. Immediately, like, you can kind of feel the magic working on people.
On the surface, it was a hip-hop workshop, and it was a theater workshop, and it was a storytelling workshop, and it was a music-making workshop. But deeper than that, it was also different aspects of those art forms.
It is important to create this space, what Open Scene is doing right now, just to come and express yourself, like to have a safe space where, no one is looking at you any differently for how you dress or what your hair looks like or, what kind of art you produce.
I've learned how to get myself out there and communicate with people and learn how to become more of a people person, I guess.
It's just really kind of community-based and, has all these different values and comes from these backgrounds that are similar to mine. And I just thought that was very just amazing of them to just, be able to teach us and whatnot.
It was about hearing each other's stories and hearing what people were passionate about and turning that into art.
I think that youth need more spaces in our community. They need more spaces to just be.
You're like I don't really know, if that's my type of place. But once you step inside, it's a whole nother world. So.
Da da da, ba da dum da da dum da dum da dum 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 dum.
Music.
Sweetie da 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 dum da dum ba.
So that's a video that we'll be able to share between, the city and the IMC for talking about and promoting the open scene, and we plan to submit that video along with our final grant report.
I'm just curious, did Jason do that?
I was going to ask.
No, so that was, I should have mentioned that. That was created with a local videographer, Tori Beach. She's actually very new to town, so another person to work with. Oops, just kidding.
But UPTV did contribute, I think, some of the filming.
Absolutely, I
and
should
the
say
audio
that.
as well. So, but it was edited by Tori.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about social media engagement. I'm going to be kind of giving you a social media marketing reach report every monthly meeting. So right now, this is as compared to last month's report. We now have, and this has actually changed, they've all gone up since I made this report, but we have, 1,585 followers on Facebook. That's an increase of 121 people since our last meeting. We have 1,964 people on Twitter. That increased 13 people. 539 on Instagram. That increased 28. And 1,457 of an increase of 5 people. That's just on our mailing list, so that's our MailChimp mailing list. So I am hoping to continue to build these numbers. I think what I hope to bring as part of the program coordinator role, or the public arts coordinator, is making sure that we tell the stories of the artists that receive grants with us, that work with us, that exist within the city of Urbana, and that we promote their work. And some of that has to do with telling the story of the public arts program. So I want to make sure to continue to build those numbers. So my hope is that they always go up every month I talk to you. Part of that, too, is through different kinds of social media campaigns. So Art in Urbana is one of the ones that we launched, and that invites people to tag art in Urbana that they see, that they witness, creativity, no matter what it looks like, any kind of creativity they want to tag, to use that hashtag to highlight work in our area. And like performances and things that they witness. And what we'll do is we'll select an image that's been tagged on Instagram and highlight it in our newsletter. So if you saw our newsletter that came out this past week, you would have seen one highlighted there. We also nominated the Urbana Public Arts Program for the Roundup for Good, and encourage you to do the same. The deadline is tomorrow, so if you have an opportunity to go by and support the Public Arts Program in that way, we encourage you to do that. You do have to be a current owner to participate. You can submit a nomination via email to Sarah Buckman, and her email appears there. There will be an opportunity then to vote for the Urbana Public Arts Program, so if you want to support the program, that's another way to help in that sense. The Urbana Public Arts Program is also going to be present at the Community Service and Volunteer Fair on September 19th at the University of Illinois. This is part of one of our efforts to build our volunteer pool, in addition to some of the things that we're doing around just building up support. So that is an exciting feature as part of the University of Illinois Office of Volunteer Programs, and we are going to have a table with their Urbana Market at the Square, but we'll also have a table right next to us for U-Cycle as well, so we'll kind of have the city represented in that way. And what I'm working to do is to build kind of infrastructure around a volunteer program so that people can tap in with events and other things that we do, and perhaps use that as a way to work with a number of the city's programs. We also recently became paired with the School of Social Work's Community Learning Lab, and what that means is that we're signed up to be a site where students can come and do sort of mini internships, like working as a kind of group project around a shared goal. And so some of the things that I mentioned they could get involved with was any kind of arts programming that we do, maybe social media and marketing support. So it's being advertised to students in advertising or marketing or arts as an opportunity, and that's exciting. So we'll get an update from them once we have students that will be paired with the program. I skipped over one thing, and I just want to mention it. We are doing a lot of work to try to submit funding requests for the Urbana Art Expo, but certainly looking for other development suggestions from the Public Arts Commission. And so I detailed a couple of the places that we've reached out to, and then also mentioned that Common Ground Food Co-op has agreed to supply food for exhibitors for the expo on November 19th, and that's just sort of a light lunch. But I'm continuing to kind of look for those opportunities. So if you know of organizations that we specifically reach out to, please let me know. Otherwise, I've been working with many of you to also have kind of meetings and understand a little bit about your visions for the Public Arts Commission. So I've met with a number of you already. I hope to meet with the rest by next month and really kind of get to know more your vision for the program and your hopes and how you'd like to play a role and how you have. I've also been meeting with a lot of our regular partners for programs. So I met with 40 North, 88 West with the lovely Kelly. I met with the Public Art League, the Department of Dance, School of Art and Design, Urbana Business Association, and the Urbana Free Library to discuss our kind of ongoing partnerships. And I also attended Champaign County's Tourism Summit, Connections Over Coffee event, and staff were featured on It's All About You. And I wanted to mention as well that one of the things that is going to happen between now and our next meeting is that I will be co-presenting with Open Scene artist and director of Inner Voices Social Issues Theater, Lisa Fay, at the upcoming Dennis H. May Conference on Diversity at the University of Illinois in a session titled Arts in the Community, Arts-Based Outreach as an Avenue for Wellness. So I'll be able to report a little bit about how that went at our next meeting. But that is about it. There's probably a few more details in here that I glossed over, but please feel free to ask me any questions.
Oh, I just wanted to mention, I know you had told me that the library is now talking about us having even more, whenever an artist is featured,
Yes.
instead of having just that one area that's by the seating area, talking about doing it throughout the library, which I think would be great.
Yeah, the library's indicated there are more spaces for us to hang work if there's interest in that. They do have a couple of I would say sort of permanent art on display at the library already, but there's also more opportunities. And one thing that we're excited about is with our next Artist of the Corridor, we'll be able to have a concurrent artist talk. So the reception can still be here, but then we'll have a talk at the library with kind of a concurrent reception there as well, happening just, I shouldn't say concurrent, but happening just like a half hour later over at the library, which will be nice to have more sort of arts programming over there since half the exhibit's over there.
I just had a question about the requests for support for the
Yes.
Art Expo. What sort of thing are we looking for? If I go talk to somebody, what should I be asking them for?
So I think one of the things that we're looking for is financial support around marketing and promotions. Because, while we have a sort of an established budget for the Art Expo, growing in marketing and promotions is always good. And there's different things that we could do, including, different methods of marketing, whether that's like ads in MTD, bus lines, or, billboards, or a number of things that might help get the word out.
In-kind donations too, right?
In-kind donations for sure. One of the things that I approached a couple of different organizations about was just about supplying like food or bottled water or things throughout the day for the exhibitors to make the experience more pleasant for them. But very open to suggestions. There's hope that we might be able to do things like be able to provide, have the food trucks there over lunch again, and then maybe be able to provide some coffee that's actually available during certain hours in the morning, and maybe even like wine or something towards the end of the day. So we'll explore that some more. But as far as even just things that help make it a more comfortable experience for the exhibitors, Common Ground's going to be able to provide, I think, some veggie trays and some other kinds of food just for the exhibitors, not for the the public who's coming in.
And has there already been a call for artists?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Did I might have
That's
lost
still
it.
open.
I probably missed that, but
That
Yeah,
was
it's still
that was
open.
the one I mentioned. That one's closes on October 9th. Mhm.
right.
And we've already received a couple of applications, and I noticed that the person who shall remain nameless that applied first was the same person who applied first last year. So clearly somebody very excited about it, which is very, very fun for
Anybody
us.
we know?
Do we have a
I was going to
minimum?
suggest if anyone here does know of artists that you'd like to encourage, by all means, invite
Yeah.
them to apply.
So I hope that it reached you all, but I think every time I've sent out a press release with the blurb and the marketing, I've sent it to all of you as well. So please feel free to forward that on to anyone you think might be interested. And all of these are posted on the website and also been posted on social media in different places.
Can I share with them what I told you about two of last year's exhibitors?
Mm-hmm.
Two of our exhibitors from last year's have moved to our community permanently.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I know, it's very exciting. Any other questions?
Okay, I think that's it then.
Okay.
Did anybody have any other announcements they'd like to make? Yeah, go ahead.
The third annual Champaign-Urbana Jazz Festival happens in October 19th to 22nd, 4 full days of music. So if you can come check it out.
Very good. Can you say a little bit about what venues it'll be in?
Yeah, it's mostly downtown Urbana. Pretty much any place that can host music will be. A little bit on campus. There's free concerts at both libraries, a young artist series Saturday afternoon, a jazz brunch at Pizza M, and a workshop at the IMC on Friday afternoon.
Okay, and is there any place people can go to find more out about this?
Yeah, if you just look us up on Facebook, CU Jazz Fest, it's all linked there, Facebook and Instagram, and our webpage.
Great, thank you. Okay. Oh, yeah, Eric, go ahead.
Well, again, I don't know how much difference it'll make, but a pointer to that on our website, I think would be great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need to do more about that. We've talked about it. I mean, just promoting things going on in Urbana. So,
I'm not
yeah.
sure the website is exactly the best place
Right,
for that.
right.
but
Yeah, I'm
just
not
because
saying
of
that,
how-
but-
how it's structured right now, but
Yeah.
one thing I am committed to doing is trying to get reposting and sharing things as much as possible on all of our social media pages.
Mhm.
And certainly working also to eventually get maybe a newsletter out more frequently than it is currently, which is a monthly newsletter. Because if we had a more frequent newsletter, I could highlight all the community arts events that are happening in
Right.
that newsletter, which I think would do the trick as well.
Right.
It might even be more frequented than the website.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Well,
Barb,
I
go
was
ahead.
just thinking along those lines, if you could like like Bridget Kalfas does on WDWS and goes on to talk about the things that happen monthly at Cranard, maybe you could get an annual day, a regular day at one of the radio stations or somewhere where you could get a chance to talk about these kind of things.
Yeah, and I didn't mention, I was interviewed by the News Gazette for a studio visit this afternoon, so
good.
I did mention all of these calls during that interview with Melissa Murley as well, so hopefully that will come out either on Sunday or the following Sunday.
Mhm.
And some of we're getting different kinds of media. We have a regular ad in Smile Politely, so I sent ads, Smile Politely ads for all 3 of these calls that are out right now. And obviously a big feature for not just the public arts program, but the whole city is going to be our feature in Midwest Living magazine. But the Jazz Collective and the Swing Dance Society, as well as the public arts program, should be mentioned there as well.
Great. Very good. Yeah, Eric, go ahead.
I think it's okay to call stuff like this into Penny for Your Thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
It has an enormous audience and one that, we might not reach through some of our other ways, but might be interested in some of the things that we do.
Yeah, great idea.
Okay. Lots of good ideas.
In your spare time.
Yeah, right. Oh, and of course, we need to say that today is Rachel's birthday, so happy birthday!
Thank you. The
I hope you're
achievement
gonna
of
have some
another
fun.
birthday.
Okay, and on that note, I'm going to move that we adjourn. Have a second? All right. That's it. Thank you.